Hi, can you hear me okay? Great. My name's Christine Follett. I'm with AMI, and I'm here to actually facilitate the presentation for someone else. So thanks for bearing with us as we adjust to this. But I'm here to introduce Zachary Bobroff of AMI. He's the Director of Product Office, and he's going to make a presentation today about our Aptio OpenEdition UEFI firmware. So without any further ado, I'll leave it to Zach.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach Bobroff, as Christine introduced me. I'm in the product management team at AMI, and I'm going to be discussing the Aptio OpenEdition product. Can we skip into the slides? So the first thing here is AMI is not really known as an open source company. Traditionally, a lot of our firmware has been closed source, working with our ODM and OEM partners. With our Aptio OpenEdition, we're embracing open source. So we're very committed to contributing to the open community, and we want to encourage transparency, reliability, and security with all of this. So the source for the base solution will be open to everybody. Everybody can use this to then further develop their platforms, even at that end user market. We also want to be a key player that's driving the industry forward on this. So we want to encourage adoption of an industry standard solution so that everybody can work off a known good base. And we're also going to be giving innovative features back to the community. And I'll be discussing several of those as we're going through this presentation. So here's the first view of how the solution kind of operates. We've got the fully open source one on the left there. This is our OCP edition, or our Open Edition. Both the editions come with a fully open source license. The only real difference between the two of them is that the one on the right, you get a guaranteed SLA for bug fixing and security fixing and everything else that when bugs are reported. And the one on the left, you've got the community outreach that will happen from that. Also, some of these security fixes might have embargoed security dates that can't go into the open source yet, but that will follow the same rules that every other open source project utilizes. But in general, we're working with the industry, our CSP, our ODM, our OEM partners, silicon vendors to create open firmware solutions. We do create them off of what our open source projects are initially. So we're a downstream project of these upstream projects of OpenBMC and EDK2, but we won't be talking about the BMC portion today. But for every platform that has a BMC, we also do an OpenBMC. We add some value add features on top of these and security on top of it as well. We maintain this base source tree for all the supported platforms that are fully supported by the tree and continuously update them. And they're fully managed by AMI, and we're responsible for upstreaming all of the changes back to the upstream repos. On top of what you can get in the base tree, you can also add some of our proprietary IP if you so wish, which we have a repository of, and you can add that on top of what's in the base solution. So how does this work operationally? You've got the work that we're doing with our partners from the OEMs, the ODMs, the silicon providers, and the CSPs, and even IT recycling companies like IT Renew. And we put out this base tree that is the one on the right there that has everything that's going on. It is an open project. We are working on putting together the meetings for this project. It's going to be a sub-project to OSF, but we do encourage other people to get involved, and we've already had a few requests for that. But basically, you can see that there's the core contribution, there's security, there's bug fixes, there's also community contributions that we're looking forward to in the future. And then somebody can take this tree and then go ahead and make some modifications to it. Now, we are pushing out this tree periodically from our cutting edge live tree that we're going through validation on, running our full DevOps and everything behind. So there is a slight delay of a few months at the moment. We're working to move that down to about 2 to 3 weeks in the coming months, so that this will be following directly behind the internal tree. or the stage tree, if you want to call it that. Anybody can use either tree, like I've talked about. If they want to sign an SLA, they can use the cutting edge one and have direct interaction with our engineers. And if they want to use the community tree, it's entirely up to them. So what's the current submission status? The current submission is already there. You can see we've submoduled as much as possible or get submoduled from our upstream repo. The initial URL at the top is right there that you can access the project on. As a note, that URL that URL at the top will slightly change. There's going to be a renaming of it to put OSF at the front to show that it's a sub-project to the Open System Firmware project. We've gone in front of the incubation committee and we've gotten approved as an incubation project within there. And it will fall under the same governance as the Open System Firmware project because we are a sub-project to that as well. So what are some of the goals of the project? We want to provide an open source solution for booting the platforms for the community of the supported platforms. We're also going to be contributing those innovative features that will be coming up in the next few slides. We are fully committed to, as bugs are reported through the Git interface or the GitHub interface, to respond to those. We are working on scheduling those standard group meetings where we're going to discuss any current issues and our future plans. You're going to see roadmaps coming out from us of what features we're going to be upstreaming or putting into the community project over the next 3, 6, and 12 months. And we will be committed to upstreaming those to the EDK2 projects and OpenBMC. As a note, we will use this as a staging, so we'll put our features here, and then we'll start the upstreaming process at that time, just because the upstream may take longer than expected. What are the features that are there right now? So the current features that are there is we support really 3 platforms. A couple of them are in the process of being upstreamed. I don't think that we got all of it in before the OCP event. But you've got the WeWin and the MyTech Tioga Pass platforms. This has been a long-standing OCP platform, so most people are probably familiar with it. We're also releasing the Ampere platform for Mount Jade, and we're also releasing a new platform that's WeWin and Intel's Junction City that I believe is in the process of being fully submitted. So this has full UEFI secure boot enablement. So it's got the strong security that most people are familiar with booting to UEFI operating systems. It also, for those customers or those people looking to play in the Linux boot space, we've enabled full Linux boot capabilities with this. We also have pointed out how to build the Linux kernel for those who are looking to start playing with it, maybe aren't as familiar. But it has full EDK2 driver support for all the peripherals as well. And every single time we go through a release, we do full testing on all of the supported platforms by the repo. And we test our OpenBMC solution in parallel with this, which is also fully open source within this. So it gives a very well validated platform solution to the people who are using these platforms in the field. If we take a quick look at the block diagram, I mean, I'm pretty sure most people who are familiar with UEFI are familiar with this, but you basically have 3 to 4 levels of items that you're supporting here. At the bottom level, you've got the EDK2 packages, which has the core, certain bus and device drivers. On top of that, you're going to get some silicon packages that may be in binary for the CPU, memory, and chipset initialization. On top of that, you're going to have your platform packages, where this is where the porting to the platform is done for GPIO, SuperIO, any PCI Express, or other platform porting. And then on top of that, you can add any optional packages. The main one that most people are interested in, we're listing here, is Linux boot, but there could be additional optional packages that you might want to add on top of the base, and it will all build together and become the overall solution. Secure boot is something that I believe most people are familiar with, where anything external to the firmware that's being launched, whether it be the operating system, whether it be option ROMs or anything else in the platform, it has to be properly signed and verified before it is executed. So you'll have full, complete control over Secure Boot. You can manage the DB, the DBX, and all of these variables for your platform. So you don't have to rely upon an industry authority. You can now completely control everything that's running on your platform. For those that are looking to use a more robust Linux boot solution or a Linux kernel solution than what UEFI provides, as you've heard from other people talk, there's a lot of space constraints you're going to run into, but there's a lot of Linux engineers at a lot of these companies, so they want to allow organizations to do highly customized installations or implementations that maybe are doing network booting, always loading something off the network, all things like this. So it's fully enabled from the start to provide that the Linux boot capability. Some of our upcoming additions that you're going to see is the Redfish host interface. So this Redfish is a standard for system management. So you're going to see this in our repository in the next week or so. We also want to add Docker file build supports. Dockers make it very simple to set up all your dependencies for building. You're also going to see 2 more additional OCP platforms from different ODMs coming in the next 3 months, where we're negotiating with them when those are going to be added to the repository. Some of our goals for future improvement: we're going to push full DevOps that we use internally in our internal repo to the community tree so that we can see all of the testing and everything that's done there. We're also working on creating a hardware lab for our supported platforms. So if somebody wants to try out an image on one of those platforms, they can try it out. We're working to get more involvement from community players. And we're also going to support as many platforms as we can, especially the OCP ones that are going to be in the marketplace. So for the call to action, we're currently setting up some of the logistics for group meetings. We're currently trying to use OSF for any items that are going on there. So you can come to the OSF call. We attend regularly to discuss items here. The contribution is already available. Please go out and review it and give feedback. We got some initial feedback and we made some changes to try to address those. If you want your platform to be supported, please come to the OSF meeting or use the GitHub project. It's got the message board capability. And you can also come to see a demonstration at our booth in B16, or you can visit the OCP Experience Center. We've got it running on 2 different platforms in each of those locations, so you can come by and check it out. And at the bottom, again, is just a link to the submission again, if you hadn't already seen it. With that, that's the end of my time, I think. But if there's any questions, we can try to address them quickly.
Yeah, the floor is open for questions if anyone would like to ask Zach something.
Yeah, hi, Zachary. Oh, I'll back up a step. Maybe I missed this, but is this initiative compliant with the OSF checklist, or is that a future thing in mind?
No, it is compliant with the checklist, and we will continue to verify that it is compliant with the checklist for every release going forward.
So everything's redistributable?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, Zach, I think you're clear if no one has any further questions. All right, thank you very much.